Hello everyone, it's Enigma here, back with another episode of my Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2 idea series. Last time we talked about the storyline, but this time we're going to be talking about what the characters will be this time around, and some new characters, and what their stats could be. So, in Mario plus Rabbids, there's only 3 things that matter besides the weapons, which are the characters themselves. And when the characters are all alone, they have three types of abilities: defense, offense, and mobility. So I'm gonna rank the stats of those 3. I'm not gonna be talking about how strong they are because I'm gonna save that for the weapons video for those stats. But for this video, we're just gonna talk about the characters in general and what their stats alone could be. So anyway, let's get right to it. But just saying, all the characters that are coming back from Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle 1. So basically, Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, and then the Rabbid versions of them, as well as Donkey Kong, because if you haven't heard, Donkey Kong is going to be made a DLC playable character in another update soon for the games in the first game. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So I feel like Donkey Kong will make an appearance as a playable character in this game. But, yeah, anyway, let's go on to the characters. Of course, we're gonna start off with Mario. Now, Mario has 3 stars for defense, 3 stars for offense, and 3 stars for mobility. I did this because, well, Mario should be the most balanced character. I don't know why in the first game they made him, like, have more of a variety, but like, I know that that's kind of good, but at the same time, that doesn't really make sense for Mario's character, because Mario is always the one that you can get used to playing when you first play the game. So I feel like Mario should be this in that game. I know a lot of people would be happy if Mario was unique, but you know, I feel like it would be really nice to use Mario for a balanced type character just to balance things out in the match. So I think balance in fighting games really do matter. So yeah, well, this is not really a fighting game. This is a turn-based strategy, but it's kind of, because power is involved. So yeah, I think Mario being balanced makes a lot of sense. Luigi, on the other hand, has 3 stars for defense, 4 stars for offense, and 5 stars for mobility. And mobility is all the way up, so 5 stars is as high as you can go. So he has amazing mobility, but his defense is the lowest he has. But he has pretty decent offense as well. So yeah, Luigi seems to be a pretty good character with these types of stats, and you know, yeah, I think this makes sense for Luigi's character, and because Luigi has great speed in the other games. Well, mobility isn't really speed, it's at how much you can maneuver in the match. But yeah, I think Luigi's stats is perfect for him. Next up is Yoshi. So he has 1 star of defense, 3 stars of offense, and 4 stars of mobility. So his best thing that he has with him alone is mobility. He can maneuver pretty well around the arena, and you know, he'll be a pretty good character, but his defense is terrible. Because you know, the reason why he has low defense is because, well, it's Yoshi. You know, he's not really that powerful. So yeah, 1 star of defense makes good, but offense is pretty decent. Even though it's in the middle. But yeah, I think this makes sense for Yoshi. Peach, she has 3 stars of defense, 4 stars of offense, and 1 star of mobility. So her mobility is the worst out of the entire game. She does not have a good mobility. But her defense is alright, and her offense is amazing, according to the stat list I made. So yeah, I think this fits good for Peach, you know. Next up is Donkey Kong. His defense is 4 stars, his offense is 1 star, and his mobility is 3 stars. The reason why I put offense for 1 star is because he has a big body. You know, he's pretty big, so he would be easy. He would be an easy target, but defense, he could be really good because he's big and strong, and he would be really good at defense. And mobility would make sense for 3 stars because he's a gorilla, and gorillas can go pretty fast, but some can go pretty slow. So it's kind of in the middle. So now let's get into the new Mario characters that I put. Yes, there's actually going to be new characters that I listed on this list. So anyway, let's get right into it. The next character I have is Diddy Kong. So yes, I think Diddy Kong should be a playable character in this game, especially if you have Donkey Kong, and I feel like this game really loves to reference those Donkey Kong games. So yeah, I think they should add Diddy Kong as another playable character. His defense is 2 stars, his offense is 5 stars, and his mobility is 4 stars. His defense isn't really that good. I mean, because he doesn't have a lot to defend himself in the match, but his offense is amazing according to the stat list. So yeah, I don't know why I'm explaining these. You know, these are just random stats I made for each of the characters that make sense. But yeah, I tried to balance all these characters out so one's not overpowered than the rest. At least I tried. But yeah, let's go on to the next character. The next character that needs to be playable in this game is Wario. You know, I felt out of place to see Rabbids versions of Wario and Waluigi in the last game, so why not have the real-life counterparts of them? Wario's defense is 4 stars, offense is 3 stars, and mobility is 3 stars. So he's an almost balanced character. The only thing that makes him not balanced is his defense, which it's a pretty good defense. It has 4 stars, so yeah, that's almost 5. But yeah, I think this would make sense for Wario. Waluigi is obviously the next one. If you have Wario, you gotta add Waluigi as well. His defense is 5 stars, his offense is 2 stars, and his mobility is 4 stars. I think his defense would be really good, because, you know, it's Waluigi. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, Waluigi's normally a skill type in the other Mario games, so I guess that's why his defense, I don't know. The next new character is Toad. His defense is 3 stars, his offense is 3 stars, and his mobility is 2 stars. So just like Wario, he's an almost balanced character, except for mobility, which gives him 2 stars. His mobility probably wouldn't be that good, especially since, you know, Toads aren't really that fast. But yeah, I think 2 stars would make sense. Now the next character is a character that I hate in the Mario series, but it would make sense to add her as a playable character. The character I'm talking about is Daisy. She's probably my least favorite Mario character besides Pink Gold Peach, but Daisy's a close second. Her defense is 4 stars, her offense is 3 stars, and her mobility is 2 stars. Yeah, I don't really have much to explain about her. Yeah, let's go on to the Rabbids versions of the characters, starting with Rabbids Mario. Rabbids Mario is defense 4 stars, offense 3 stars, and mobility 3 stars. So he's almost like the Mario counterpart, except one difference, which is the defense. He has slightly better defense than Mario himself. But yeah, other than that, they're pretty much the same. Rabbids Luigi, on the other hand, has 5-star defense, 2 stars for offense, and 4 stars for mobility. So yeah, he has a lot better defense than the regular Luigi. However, his offense is worse than Luigi's, but his mobility is slightly worse than Luigi's. Luigi is 1 star ahead of him in mobility, but he still has good mobility nonetheless. So that's pretty good. The next character is Rabbids Yoshi. 3 stars defense, 4 stars offense, and 3 stars mobility. Yeah, he has slightly better defense than Yoshi, but his offense is pretty decent, and his mobility is slightly worse than Yoshi's, but only slightly. Other than that, Rabbid Yoshi's a pretty good character. Rabbid Peach is next. Her defense is 4 stars, her offense is 3 stars, and her mobility is 2 stars. Yeah, this would make sense. You know, she has slightly better mobility than regular Peach, and her defense and offense is pretty decent too. So yeah, Rabbid Peach is a pretty alright character. The next character and the next new set of characters should be no surprise. Rabbid Donkey Kong. Now in Mario plus Rabbids, Rabbid Donkey Kong is actually a boss. But in this game, I feel like he should be playable simply because Donkey Kong is going to be playable in the first game. So if they would make a sequel, Donkey Kong would most likely obviously be a character. So if they wanted to represent a new Kong for Donkey Kong, Rabbid Donkey Kong would be the way to go. Of course, he would be shrunken down just slightly, so he's not like way too big, obviously, but yeah, that's pretty much how it would go. Defense would be 5 stars, offense would be 1 star, and mobility would be 3 stars. So yeah, he has slightly better defense than Donkey Kong. However, he has terrible offense. It's only 1 star. However, he has decent mobility. So it's basically the same as regular Donkey Kong. Yeah, I guess that would make sense, you know, because yeah, it would make sense for Rabbid Donkey Kong. The next character is Rabbid Diddy Kong. Now, as you can see, there's no picture, but that's because Diddy Kong is not in Mario plus Rabbids at all, meaning there's no Rabbid version of him as well. So you're just going to see a black screen with text on it, so sorry about that. You guys will still know what I'm talking about. But Rabbid Diddy Kong, his defense is 3 stars, his offense is 4 stars, and his mobility is 2 stars. Yeah, that pretty much makes sense, you know. Yeah, his mobility is slightly worse than Diddy Kong's. His offense is pretty good, and his defense is alright. So yeah, that is Rabbid Diddy Kong. Next up is Wario. It's actually not Rabbid Wario, it's Wario. Because Wario and Waluigi, just like Rabbid Donkey Kong, were also bosses in the first game. So if they were to make Wario and Waluigi in the sequel, then they would have to add Wario and Waluigi, except way less overpowered, and yeah, basically just like the rest of the playable cast. But Wario's defense is 4 stars, offense is 1 star, and mobility is 2 stars. So yeah, Wario isn't that good. The only really good thing about Wario is his defense, but other than that, his offense is terrible, and his mobility is not that good either. But I mean, if you want a good defense character, then Wario is the way to go, but offense and mobility would suck if you used Wario. So yeah, that's Wario's stats. Waluigi is slightly better than Wario, but yeah, he's a pretty decent character. His defense is 3 stars, his offense is 2 stars, and his mobility is 3 stars. So he has slightly worse mobility than regular Waluigi. However, his slightly worse mobility than Waluigi, but he also has slightly worse offense than Waluigi, so he's kind of a slightly worse version of Waluigi, but he's still good nonetheless. If you want like a balanced character, then yeah, you can use Waluigi. He's not a bad character, he's just not the best, but he would be pretty good for a balanced character. So yeah, that's Waluigi. Next up is Rabid Toad. Again, there's just text on the screen because there's no other picture of a Rabid Toad. So yeah. Defense is 2 stars, offense is 5 stars, and mobility is 3 stars. So he has slightly better mobility than regular Toad and slightly better offense. But his defense is not that good. Yeah. So that's Rabid Toad. And the last character in the game is Rabbid Daisy. Her defense is 4 stars, her offense is 3 stars, and her and her mobility is 3 stars. So she's almost balanced. She has decent defense, and her offense and mobility is balanced. So yeah, that's Rabbid Daisy. Anyway, these were the teams, the characters for the game. So let me know what characters you want to see in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2, and what would their stats be. So anyway, tune in next time for when we talk about potential locations in the game and other stuff like that. So yeah, this is Enigma, and peace. See you next time.